Like, we're live-ish.
Live-ish.
Well, let me see if we're showing up.
You do look pasty. You need to go outside
We're
more.
we're on YouTube. I'm watching it.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
I'll share with the Discord.
Yeah. Yeah, I had two back-to-back company trips. One was to Florida and the other one was to Chicago. So I was in Tampa for 3 days, and then the next week I was in Chicago for 3 days, both for work. And yeah, that's why I couldn't make either of the last two. This time in professional mode. That's not going to help me.
Someone has joined us. There are 4 watching now, and honestly, I assume Fletcher didn't click on the link, so
I did.
You did? Oh, alright.
Yeah, I always do.
Little intimidating. I can only imagine somebody stumbling upon our channel live with no context. Rude.
Ouch.
People? The difference it makes when I give people an hour heads up. I'm aware. Can't hear you, Chris, in YouTube, apparently. We are professional. Don't worry, he wasn't saying anything interesting anyway.
I'm not talking. I'm waiting for you to.
I'm trying to be so helpful by just letting this dead
Yeah.
air hanging. I
Yep.
can go back
I'm
to talking about
looking.
the book I just read.
I was trying to rearrange my board game arena layout, make it make
Yeah,
sense.
you should play this in wide mode. Um, and that will make it a whole lot easier to see and play. And I'm just going to
Sure.
transition over to this for a moment. Um, just so everyone knows we're playing Great Western Trail. I'm just kind of testing something here real quick. I'm going to fix something on our visuals, and then I'm going to take this off the screen. Apologies for those who could not hear me before. As Kitty, I'm sure, said, you did not miss anything. It was not entertaining. Um,
He really is. So yeah.
so yes, I try not to be entertaining. This is why I have you guys, so you can carry all
This is
the
why you self
why would
mute.
yeah. It's just a whole lot easier if I do it that way because then people don't have to pay attention to the words. Um, I was saying I went to Gen Con. Gen Con was fun. We brought the kids. They did a good job of kind of hanging out in alcoves of open gaming rooms while the rest of us played games. So that was a lot of fun. Um, would I bring them again? Probably. It can only get better, right?
Like want to start playing games. So, you know.
I mean, they were playing games. They were just playing PBS games and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So, and then we went to Tennessee and we stayed in an Airbnb for a week and then drove back. And during that time, so this is the news. So I told Kenny and Fletcher that I had news, which I have not shared. I don't know why I didn't share. I think Kitty, you were in the middle of nowhere, so you didn't have internet. And
I barely had
um,
cell signal, let alone internet.
and then Fletcher, you were all over the place. I didn't know where you were at. So, although I found that you would probably be most interested in this. So Isobar, which is the company I work for, was acquired again. So sold from its one parent company and moved to another parent company, which
Move
involves
from
some reorg.
Dentsu?
Yes, so it's no longer Dentsu, it's with another company, which involves some reorganization, which didn't involve me. I was there, but Creon was cut,
I
which
heard about that.
then
Yeah.
led to me being like, okay, well, if Creon's not here, I don't want to be here anymore. So I laid Creon off on Wednesday. I found out that I had to lay him off on Tuesday. I laid him off on Wednesday. And then over the next week and a half, I was on vacation. And I'm like, okay, well, let's figure this out. And the moral of the story is my last day at Isobar is this coming Friday. So so I've been going through a job transition, company transition, driving all over the place, and Zachary starts kindergarten tomorrow. So dealing with all that stuff as well. So it's been a fun month, I will say. But everything's great. I do not begrudge Isobar at all. I think they did the right thing with essentially transferring and all that. I think all that stuff is great. It's just not where I will be going forward, and that is okay. So I'm gonna fix my camera because I don't like the way I look.
You have
So
been
the
saying
next
this the
question
whole
is,
time.
yeah,
And now you finally
do,
decide.
do you have
I know.
another prospect lined up?
Oh yeah, I had a prospect before I left. I'm basically going the same place that Creon's going because that is a cool
Codependent.
place to work. It's a little codependent. Plus, it's a bunch of people I've worked with in the past. So that's just how it works.
Nice.
Okay. Now I'm not as pasty blue.
Are they in Chicago?
They are all remote. So my commute is going to be the exact same thing. Wake up, walk
Nice.
downstairs. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure they're sending me the exact same computer that I'll be sending back. It'll just have a different ID tag on it. So, and I start on Monday, and the computer's going to arrive tomorrow. So I'm like, oh, wow, okay, you're on top of things. That's great. So yeah, so that's been my month. Katie's been in the middle of nowhere.
Nice.
Fletcher's been traveling all over for work. And let's play a game so I can clear my mind and then figure out how to pack a kindergartner a boxed lunch tomorrow. Because, oh, I'm
My
literally just make.
advice is just I just dropped my phone. My advice is just throw a bunch of stuff in the box and expect them not to eat most of it.
Yeah,
My
I'm gonna
kids bring
do
home
like
so much food in their lunch.
I'm gonna make him a Nutella sandwich because that's about the only thing he'll eat cold, and a bag of chips and some fruit snacks, maybe a mini chocolate chip muffin,
That sounds
and
super healthy.
at 5, you just need the calories. I don't think anything else really matters. Oh, to be
Mean
5.
mom. I send my kids with blueberries and applesauce, and
So
uh,
I got a
they
bunch
did
of
get
You'll
a
definitely be
blueberry.
able to
blueberries.
make friends. Like I got chips, I got chocolate muffins, I got Nutella
But my
sandwich.
Nutella, yeah, it's like chocolate on bread. What's not to
Oh
like?
yeah.
And it took us forever to get him to even try that. Meanwhile, I'll just send Becca with a jar of pickles and she'll be fine. She won't make a lot of friends. She'll just smell like pickles. I fully expect her at some point in school nickname to be Pickles. That's going to happen. So, all right, let's see what else. I don't think there's anything else we need to do to set this up. I think I'm being heard. And so, Great Western
Ice cream
Trail.
fix.
Yeah, I can see myself bounce now. Thank you for letting me know. This is going to be just the beginning of the stream. Nobody hears me. That's just how that works. All right, so Great Western Trail, you are going to be looking at my screen. I am going to talk through my turns, why I would do something, why I wouldn't do something. I'll kind of explain the rules as we go because you guys have both at least played. Kitty, you've won a game by timeout, but still, BGA counts it as a win. We are playing second edition, which updates the graphics a little bit, but adds a bit of balance as well. So if you ever see a completely, I don't know, older looking graphics than this, you might be looking at first edition. What else is going on here? I am blue. Fletcher is yellow, I think, and Kitty's white.
Yeah. Hello.
So this game, if you have not played it, is Euro Extreme. And unfortunately, I can't really fit the entire board. Let me see if I actually can. See if I can shrink this down a little bit. Not, there's a ton of options. This is actually one of the best implementations of a game on BGA in my mind. But yeah, I can't really shrink this down without shrinking down everything. And I don't want to do that just because of the layout of the screen. So we'll be fine with this. Um, so this is a Euro game. It is a rondel style worker or action selection game. So we're going to start out with our pawns down in the corner here. And rondel essentially means you can pick an action in front of you. When you first start, you can go up to 3 spaces. And so you're going to take the next action, 2 actions out, or 3 actions out. The spaces that are not filled in here, once they get filled in, they will count as stops. Anyone can take actions on the gray spaces. Only you can take actions on your own buildings, with the exception of if you land on any space that doesn't allow you to take an action, you can take an auxiliary action. Auxiliary actions are just kind of a minor action. You try to avoid them if you can, but those are options. So we'll be going through this rondel choosing actions from all this, fun iconography that's all over the board. You can always hover over something and it'll tell you exactly what it does, but as we take actions, I'll explain those. We will hire workers. There are engineers, cowboys, and builders. So engineers help your train move faster, builders help you build buildings, and cowboys allow you to buy cows. The cows are your hands, so there's a deck building aspect to this. You want to build a deck that optimizes your cows. There's a market, and the cattle market is where you can buy new cows, which is basically buying new cards to put them in your deck. Um, your decks are relatively thin, but you want to optimize your hand. So at the beginning, you have a hand of 4, and your hand score is the points of the number of unique cows. So if you're looking at my screen right now, I actually have 6 cards in hand because I'm going to be going last, and that's one of the way they handle the first player advantage. So Fletcher only has 4 cards in hand right now. Kitty has 5, I have 6. So Kitty will have to discard a card at her turn. I'll have to discard 2. But assuming I had this hand, I have a black, a white, a green, and a gray. The extra gray and the extra green don't count for my hand score. So I just get 2 points for the black, white, and green, and 1 point for the gray for a total of 7. My hand for starting is optimized because every deck has the same number of starting cards, and BGA, you can just kind of click on the deck and you can see all the cards that start. So it's 3 of each of the blues and 5 of the grays that every hand starts with. So the best you can get is 7 in your opening hand. As you get more valuable cows, you can see there's 3s, 4s, 5s cows. And there's actually 3 colors of 3s. There's a red that we don't see here. Then those 4 cards can be more optimized. But again, you could have 5 purple cards in your deck. You're not going to score any more than 5 points for a purple card in your hand. When you buy the cattle out of the market, though, you will get points at the end of the game. Each one of these are worth points, and you can see at the bottom, all these shields are points. The starting cards do not have any shields. So that's the deck building aspect of it. We have the worker action selection rondelle. We have the buying worker. So buying workers can help you take more efficient actions. So there'll be actions on the board, such as this one here, move your engine up to a number of spaces equal to the number of engineers you have. So having workers makes you more efficient in certain actions. They also, if you buy a worker and it covers up a certain section on your board, you'll get a bonus there. When you get to Kansas City, which is your goal as you're marching through this rondelle, you're going to turn in your hands. You're going to do some selections of other things that are going to pop out on the board. And you're going to go to one of these cities. And you're going to place a disc on one of these cities. A disc is going to come from your board. The disc, where it comes from, will make that particular action better. You can also place discs by taking stations. And that is by moving your train into a station. You can place a disc. And if you have a worker, you can place that worker in the station. You take this bonus scoring tile, and voila, you are able to upgrade the actions on your board. That's very glossed over, but I will say that the way you win this game is by managing your train and these stations. Everything else matters, but the way you win is the train. So if you're forgetting the train, you're not playing Great Western Trail. So, like I said, I'm playing open-handed. So if you guys are watching the stream, you'll see what's in my hand. There's no real way of influencing that, but you can kind of infer what actions I could potentially take with what's in my hand. I'll say, again, another new player tip, you want to discard cards from your hand. You draw up to your hand size at the end of every turn, and pitching cards or discarding cards give you things. So like this building B I'm hovering on right now, this is going to allow you to pitch a green card to get 2 money. Well, if I have 2 green cards in my hand, I want to get rid of one of them. So this is just a net positive to get rid of that. And then I'll draw up again. On BGA, take advantage of looking what's in your deck. And it'll tell you like the odds of drawing any individual card. So I can be like, well, if I pitch my last green, what's the odds of getting another green? You can see what's in your deck and what's coming up. this is such a handy thing that we kind of implement it in real life too, where it's like, yeah, you can just look at your deck because you know what's cards in there. You could count them, but just look at your deck and then shuffle it. And then you have objectives. You have a starter objective. If you complete that starter objective, you get 3 points. If you don't, there's no harm in that. Just gives you kind of something to do. You can get more objectives later. These ones, if you commit to them and fail, you will get negative points. You don't have to commit to them, but if you play them for their effect, you will be committing to it. And so that's another thing to consider when picking up objectives. Sometimes you don't want them. Usually you do, but at the beginning, I don't really go for an objective-heavy strategy. So Fletcher's going first. First turn for everybody, you have essentially infinite movement. You can start anywhere on the board you want. These gray tiles sometimes are random setups. We're using the default setup where it's A, B, C, D, so it goes all the way through. It's like a standard starter setup. It's sort of meant to help you kind of push through, right? The first one is buy some workers. Second one is build a building. Third one is move your train, right? So these things are they're nice in that order. When they mix them up in different orders, it forces you to do different strategies and different things. But you can pretty much start wherever you want. If you wanted to start on the very last one, you could, and then you could go to Kansas City right away. Racing to Kansas City is typically a bad idea. You almost never want to go to Kansas City if your hand size is less than a space where you can actually put a disc up here. So if you had a less than 4 hand value, you wouldn't want to go up here because you definitely don't want to go in Kansas City. Although some people will argue going in Kansas City is early is good because you get 4 money, but you lose 6 points. Never go in Kansas City. Anyone who tells you that strategy, I will play them anytime. Never go to Kansas City.
I've heard that people win.
Yeah,
they
do against bad players. People will win. Fulton is okay, but don't go to Fulton and St. Louis because that's negative 3 points. Even though you get an objective, it's still negative points. So my strategy is one, usually St. Louis or Bloomington, and then Chicago, Toledo, usually Pittsburgh or Philadelphia. I have one disc down here and the rest of them are up here. Take your time on the track, optimize your hand, get certificates. Certificates are like, they'll just increase your hand size. Like, you want value out of coming up here, and placing discs on these lower spaces is not value. All right, Fletcher, kick us off.
All right. Well, since I don't really know what I'm doing, I'm just gonna go to the first building because that's probably what I should do.
As long as you have a white card. The only reason I wouldn't go there is if you don't have a white card.
I do have a white card.
All right. And then, so your purple are builders. They're going to help you build buildings. They're also probably the least valuable in general, but all of them have value because you can put them into stations, right? So even if you never used a builder as a builder, you can still put them in a station. Cowboys are good if you want to go and get cows early. And you can't, those are the only 2 options you have because you can't buy the engineer yet because that row isn't complete and you can only buy from rows that are complete. And I should say the game ends when this little 2-point token is pushed all the way off the track. So that'll trigger the end of the game. Everyone else will take a turn, and the person who pushed it off the track gets 2 points.
The way you fill those is part of going to Kansas City.
Yes.
So what do you think?
When you go to
Should
Kansas
I go
City,
for a worker or a cowboy?
I would almost always, in this case, go for the cowboy because no one else can. And you're going to have the opportunity to buy something from the market soon. So having 2 cowboys means you're paying 3 money for a 3 card as opposed to 6 money for a 3 card. And you can know that by the bottom here. This tells you how many cowboys you have, what the cost is to buy a particular card. And you actually spend these like points. You can kind of think of them as cowboy points. So if I have 4 cowboys, I can buy 2 cards at a cost of 3, or I can buy 1/5 at the cost of 6 because I have the 4 cowboys, or I can do
And then
1/4 at 12 and a 4 at 6. Well, however I want to spend my cowboy points.
what's the exchange token? It's saying I can use an
So the
exchange
exchange token allows you to discard up to 2 cards to draw 2 cards. You don't want to use it now. You get 1 for
Oh
free at
yeah,
the beginning. They're relatively hard to come by, but that it's just like if you get to the end, you're like, oh man, I still don't have the cards I need. It allows you to
I
draw
see.
into the cards you want.
Got
There's
it.
only a
Yeah, I
couple
don't need
ways
to do
of
that
getting
right now.
them. One of them is to fill St. Louis and Bloomington. If you get both of them, then you get the exchange token in the middle. Um, and then when you pick up an outlaw, if you pick up the outlaw that doesn't give you money, it'll give you exchange token. Otherwise, you basically just have the one.
Right, I'm gonna do pretty much the same thing, except I don't have the choice to hire the cowboy, so I must choose a builder.
Yep. Now, I went last, which means I get to draw extra cards, or had extra cards, and I have to get rid of 2. So I have to discard exactly 2, which I'm going to do. And this gives me a hand size of 7. And 7 is the optimal hand size. Or not hand size, but hand value. So what I'm actually going to do is not get a crappy builder. And since I can't get a crappy builder or don't want one, the rest of the track doesn't really do much for me. So I'd rather get engineers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the very last one here, most likely. I can go up to 2 spaces away. So I could go here, so my next move is 1, 2, 3. But buying cattle would make me discard a black, and there's only a 25% chance that I replace that black. So it's not great odds to buy a cattle right now. I could, but even so, I'd be spending all my money because I have 8 money, and I'd have to spend it all on one of these cards. Not a terrible thing, but meh. So I'm just going to go here. Um, and you know something? No, and this is another thing I love about this game. I talked myself out of this because here's another thing. I want to move my train, but I want to move it cheaper than everybody else. So if I go here, I'm going to move forward to the 1 spot, and anyone else who moves their train gets to skip the 1 spot because there's no such thing as a train on the same spot except for the zeros. So if I go here, I can move my train 1, sure, and I can get 1 money, fine, but that's not great. I'm gonna go with the buying a cow. Um, it's a little risky, but I have some time. So we're just going to go here. We're going to discard a black. I don't have to discard the black. Um, in fact, if I didn't discard the black, I could still buy the cow and still have optimal. So maybe that's what I do. I love this game so much. And I apologize that you guys have to play it with me, but also I thank you profusely for playing it with me. All right, so I'm going to go here. I'm not going to discard a black card. I am going to buy a blue card, and I'm going to hit confirm. I'm going to check out, and I am going to end my turn and say, yes, I don't want to take that action.
Okay,
And
so
the game has begun.
how do I know how much cheaper I can buy cattle for?
So if you look at the bottom of the board, you
Yeah.
have a cowboy points ratio thing. So the first one is for a single cowboy, you can buy a 3 value card for 6 money. The next one is for 2 cowboys, you can buy a 3 value card for 3 money.
Hmm.
And that's where you're at. Now you have 2 cowboys, you could buy a 5 value card for 12 money, but you don't have 12 money. So
I don't have 12 money.
you're probably not going to do that.
Nobody has 12 money.
Nobody has 12 money. Now, there is also the option you can spend one cowboy to draw two cards from the cattle market or from the deck, and it adds it to the market. Um, you could do this if you want to just go for a Hail Mary, right? It's like, I really need a red cattle, so I'm just going to attempt to draw for a red one and hope I get it. And if I do, then I will buy it. Um, but it populates the market, so anyone can buy whatever you draw once they land on it.
Um, wasn't there a way to like permanently remove cards from your hand?
There is. So auxiliary actions. So if we look at our auxiliary board over here, these little gear icons are your auxiliary actions. You start out with a one, and we'll call it a level one. I don't think that's the actual term for it. For auxiliary, which means that if I were to take the money auxiliary action, I'd get one money. This is draw and discard, so I could draw one, discard one. Any of these icons that show the two on there allow you to take an auxiliary action, and if you have both discs removed, you can take it twice, essentially, is what it's saying. Auxiliary actions are also the actions you would take if you landed on a space and couldn't do anything. You would get to take a one auxiliary action, so just one side of a particular action. So the first two are free, get money, draw a card, discard. The next one is spend a money, back up one, and get a certificate. Certificates will add to your hand value if you decide to spend them. Then there's spend one money to move your train forward one. And then the most broken one in second edition is gain one money, not spend, but gain one money, back your train up one, and call a card from your hand. So you can take a card and pitch it, which you want to do with all your starter cards, except for one of each. It
Right.
is the strategy I typically go for, but it is one you have to build into. So it requires a lot of engineers and moving the train forward so that moving it back isn't terrible. But that's the only way you can call cards short of other special bonus tiles, which there is nothing on the board that would allow you to do that right now.
Got it. Well, maybe I should just go to the cattle market and buy a cow.
Cows are good.
So,
You're skipping a lot of spaces when you do that, though. So you're skipping the building a building. You're skipping the get a certificate and move your train. And
yeah.
you're potentially
Do I want
skipping
to build a
take
building?
an outlaw. Um, Buildings are good. You bought a cowboy, so you could only build a one level, but we have three different one level buildings, um, which are good. Especially if you take a look at your starting objective, which is you want you want an orange outlaw and two hazards. Hazards you don't want to go for right now. You'll get them later. Um, but the outlaws are kind of nice because if you pick up an outlaw, you also get paid. So if you were to pick up that orange outlaw, you'd get 3 money out of it, and that satisfy the one thing in your objective. So if you went to building D, you could pick up an outlaw and then perform an auxiliary action, which is draw and discard or gain a money. So
Okay.
lots of
Maybe I'll
options.
just
You
go
don't
to
need to rush
building
to the
B.
cows.
All right. And then I'll just build something.
And the nice thing about this, Kitty, is everything I say to Fletcher applies to you, at least for right now, because you guys are in the same situation. Although you could build a level 2 building. Technically you couldn't because it costs you 2 money per. But if you discarded a green, you could build a level 2 building. But there are no level
Yeah,
2 buildings. We only have one
there's
today.
one. No, there's one level 2 building.
Oh, sorry. I was looking at the points. Yeah, that level 2 building is really quite good. So that level 2 building, essentially, anyone who moves past
Unless you
it
do
has
another
to pay you
action.
money. Yep, and then you can. So they have to pay you 1 money to move past it if they land on it, and you get to move forward up to 2 and take the next action. So it's kind of a nice thing. It's an income builder for you, and you still get to do something else. And 5 money for a hazard is a great exchange, not early in the game, but later in the game.
Mm-hmm.
And typically, what people will do is they'll build that first building in this first row here, but you have to be careful because there's 2 paths here. So you could go to the bottom path and skip over anything in that first row, and And the reason that happens is because there's no water hazards here. There's also no desert hazards here. So if Kitty were to buy this building, what she'd want to do is place it right here in the forest where no one wants to go up this way because this is going to cost 4 money to get up here because each hand you land on is cost you money. So they're forced to go this way and give her money if they land here. And since I'm here right now, I would be the first person. I would have to give her one of my 2 monies to get there. And yes, monies is plural in this game, just for the record.
I refreshed my page by accident and it broke the internet. I just want to make sure that I was looking at the same one yours is. So the first forest one right by you.
The second, you can skip 2. You don't want to have an empty space
For
after
it
your
again.
skip.
Where do you think is the best place to put this building?
Right here
Okay.
where I'm circling, and you'll find out in about 7 seconds.
No, I see it.
Where do you think I should put my? Well, I'm thinking I should do building 2A, which is the cattle building, right? Discard
If you want
exactly
to
from
go,
like.
if you want to go the cattle strategy, that's a great building because you're going to discard a white for 4 and get a chance at the market, and you still have the
Right.
default discard the black for 2 and go to the cattle market.
Every time I try to go for a cattle building strategy, it breaks my heart.
Yes, cattle is a lie. You need
It
them.
seems like it should be. Thank you, John. Chris will tell me where to stick my building.
Well, then what should I build then if the cattle? Because it seems like cattle is like the way to go, but maybe not. I
Just,
don't know.
you try making it work for you. Is all I can say.
I think you should. I think you should go for the cattle strategy because it's a good demonstration as to
why it sucks.
like the
How
pros
it
and
doesn't
cons of
work
it.
out for you. How it seems like it should work, and it never ever does.
Where should I put it? Where should I put the building? I'm thinking like the one right after the woods.
Well, there is an advantage if you're ever going to get points for having your buildings in the woods building.
Wait a minute, how is it still your turn, Fletcher?
Because I haven't placed a building yet. We were talking the whole time.
I personally, for the cattle one, it doesn't really matter for where that goes, except for if you have a extra white card right now, just place it in the very next spot because that's as good a place as any, and then you can use it right away, and it's more valuable than discarding the black for 2. If you don't have a white card right now, then you probably, if you place it early, that can be a problem because you already have a white card you want to discard for workers. So you'd have to have 2 white cards to discard back to back. So you might want to actually place it later in the track. You could even place it right before the generic cattle because then you have the options like, do I go to mine where I get 4 money or do I go to the generic one for 2? But depending on what card you have would allow you to make that choice. So for a building like that, those are the kinds of things you're considering. Honestly, if you can use it right away, I just put it as the next spot and then just use it right away.
Just put it in the forest?
Yeah. You could also, there's so many different ways you can think about it. And then, but that would work just fine. Oh, right. I'm third. So you guys get to take turns before me. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I've already told Kitty how to screw me over, so she's going to do that.
One there because you want to be able to get to those next 2 buildings easier with the move.
Yeah. So if you put it on the left, then your move forward 2 allows you to either go to the next generic building or the generic building after that. The only time you wouldn't have those 2 options is if both the other 2 spots were full and neither of those were yours. So you may want to fill in later on, you might want to fill in one of these other spots, but it just gives you the most options with that extra move 2. Where if you put it on the right, And then I built on the left. The only place you could ever go is to the first generic building.
See, that seems fair.
At some point, I will stop helping you guys as much, but for now. Oh, and another thing you did is screwed me over on being able to get to Kansas City. So now there's 4 steps to get to Kansas City, and
Yes.
I only have 3, so I can only get to here, which sort of is annoying. I have 2 money. It just means I'm going to go here anyway. It means I'm going to be the first person out of the gate with the train. Give you a false sense of security on that one. I don't need to draw and discard, so I'll get my money back, but I really am just getting the money back that I gave you. So, and now we're back to Fletcher. This game also has an enormous amount of stats that you can see. We have to give Fletcher about 20 minutes back on playtime, since most of the rules I was explaining, it was his turn. But only 20 minutes. So we'll see. Actually, maybe about 30 minutes, because we started the game at 7:30.
We did not start the game at 7:30. We got on this call at 7:30. We didn't start the game till like 8.
Well, the game was created at 7:30, I think, pretty early on, because I had to set do some stuff with it.
So when it says use a cowboy, does it actually discard it from my my board?
No. Each time you go to and do the cattle action, the cattle market action, you have a certain number of cowboy points that are the number of cowboys you have. So you're never discarding cowboys by going there. The only time you'd ever lose workers from your board once placed, so once you place this here, is if you place them in a railroad station. So there'll be a total of up to 5 workers that could be lost by being put on these stations.
Okay. I think I was a little confused because it gives me the option to use 1 cowboy or use 2 cowboys. And I'm like, why would I use 1?
You would use 1 if you had an exorbitant amount of money and wanted to buy 2 cards. You don't.
Okay.
So you won't. But that's why you
I
12
see.
money and wanted to get 3 cattles, then you could spend 6 money and do that. Or 12 money, 6 money each. And now, Kitty, I have no advice for you. You have 2 money. You can't build anything right now because you have no building spots in front of you. But you're not going to be able to get cattle. So C or D looks good.
Yeah, so I was thinking of going to D because then I can. My objective. I need a green boy.
Yep.
Green boy.
So this is where, again, I'll say, don't rush. C is by far the better option because it gives you a certificate for nothing. C is in cattle.
Okay, yeah.
Because it gives you the certificate for free, and it moves your train 2 spaces because I'm already in front of you. So you get a free train movement, and you still can do D next. No one's going to stop you from doing that. Fletcher might grab the orange worth 3, but you can still grab the orange worth 2.
I need the green though for my. I need the green for my objective. So
or grab the green, but your objective way down the line, not super important.
I've got time, but whenever I feel like I lose sight of my objectives, I don't make them, and then aren't they negative points if you don't get them?
Not for your starter objective.
Not your starter objective.
So your starter objective. Yeah, your starter objective you can completely ignore. So, but I would go C for that cert, and for the train movement. And
so are you
can
saying
still
this
do
because
D.
Then I guess it would take you a while to get to another train movement.
Skip over you.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, and there are times where, it may be advantageous for, someone else for you to move your train. But right now, I'm so far away from it that that's not really a concern. It's more advantageous for Fletcher because if you move your train, he can move again and he'll jump up to the 3 spot.
He
So he'll
gets to.
be
Well, if he gets to the movie,
somebody.
if he pays 2 to move his train 2, he can get to the station.
If you're in front of him, no, he can only get to 4 because you'll be on the 2. He can go 3, 4, but he needs to
Okay,
go
and the station is
4.5.
4.5 is the station.
Yep.
Okay.
And
All
another
right.
thing, everyone can place a disc in the station. Only one person can place a worker there. When you place a worker
I
there, you get that bonus tile.
I just get worried because I've seen too many games where one person is getting all of those objectives and those points add up.
They do. They add
Chris.
up very quickly. Mostly what ends up happening, though, is people see other people taking the objectives and they still skip these stations and don't put discs on them. You should strive to put a disc on every single one of these stations because it makes your actions better. It makes all these
Yeah.
actions better. All right, my turn is going to be fairly easy. Um, so here's where you get to start, messing with the board a little bit. This first column is always going to be something bad. The second column is always going to be workers. The third column is usually going to be workers, but there are bad things in here as well. So, and something bad doesn't mean bad for you. They can be good for you. But the choices I get to make here is I can put a bandit out here, which then gives you both the option of getting a green bandit for 4 money. Or I can put a desert tile out here, which then makes you have to, well, starts forcing you down this path here, which is okay for me because there's nothing that's costing me money to move this way. But having this extra path here is not necessarily bad either. But if I do start to build up, desert obstacles here, I can place a costing building here and maybe take advantage of it. So I know I don't want to give you guys a bandit though, because you're both coming up on the spot. So I don't want to make your bandits better. So that's why I'm choosing that. Here it doesn't really matter as much, except for who gets access to these engineers first. And it's going to be me, and I want them both. So I'm going to put that here and hope to get enough money. And because I want this engineer to be a little bit more expensive for you guys, I'd rather put it in the 7 than the 5. So I'm going to put that down there as well. I'm going to get my 7 money. Now here's where it starts costing you to place in cities further on. So I mentioned that I only want 1 disc in the white areas. I don't want having a disc in the 4, 6, like any one of these discs don't give me points. So it doesn't actually matter. If I place here, though, there's one little red X between this one and my train, which is going to cost me 1 money. And I don't want to pay that 1 money because I currently have 9 and I'm going to need 12 to do what I want to do with my shenanigans, which means I'm 3 short. And there's not really a way I'm going to get that 3 money anyway. So if I go here, I can get 6. So, and this is where I always think, all right, so this is what I want to do. I want to do this, and we are not going to put any other engineers there. And then I'm going to choose St. Louis, and I'm going to pick a disc over here. I love calling cards, so I'm going to pick that one, which will allow me to go backwards 1. But you guys are on to me for that. And sometimes I might need a little boost of train speed to get ahead of you to get the spaces I want. But I won't have a worker to place on it anyway, so I'm just going to go the culling. And that will be my turn. Free certificates for everyone.
Please select one of your sub actions.
And this is where
Um,
I regret buying the cow, because if I had not bought the cow, I could already have 2 engineers.
I don't know what's a good first one to remove. What certificate?
Oh, well, there's advantages to having a double aux available to you. Since you're going cowboy strategy, you may want to have the draw two, discard two, because that allows you to curate your hand without calling. So you can always just like draw two, discard two, and try to get what you want in your hand. Um, you could also go for money because just get an extra 2 money each time. Um, I wouldn't go for the certificate one, so the third one, because if you're going cattle, you're likely not going to need certificates as much. And then there's always an advantage of moving your train forward or backward. But um, I tell typically the easiest one to do is the draw two, discard two. Just cycling your hand is super important, and it gives you a double
Okay.
ox that you can use off the bat.
Okay. I feel like I should move my train forward, right? Like, there's no reason not to.
There's no reason not to. Yeah. The only reason not to is if somebody is immediately going to do something you don't want them to do. And that first scoring tile, the biggest advantage to it is it gives you one permacert. So your hand size is always, your hand value is always one higher. The every two outlaws, so every green and orange outlaw gives you 3 points. That's great. It's probably going to score you 6 points, maybe 9, throughout the course of the game. A good score for a 3-player game, like a good score, is around 100. A great score would be 120. I've seen mostly, though, people are in like the 60s, 70s, 80s. So just give you an idea of the value of points.
Oh, now I can pay 2 to move my engine to and get that station,
You
right?
can if you have a worker. The
I
problem
do.
is it costs you 2 money to place a disc there. So you can get the
So I
2 money to
don't
get
have
your
enough
train
money
in
to do that.
there. Yeah. So now if you had gotten the ox, which you don't have yet, you could move it, like move your train. Even there, no, you wouldn't be able to do it. So yes, correct. Right now, you won't be able to get it. You could move. You'd just be better off getting the orange bandit.
But do I keep slow rolling it? I don't know if I want to do that if I don't want to move the train. I can wait to get the bandit. Is it a better option for me?
So you only have 2 money right now. If you get the bandit,
Huh?
you'll have 5 money, and then when you move, if you move to the cattle spot, you can actually buy a cow. Right now, if you move to the cattle spot, you can't buy a cow because you don't have enough
I don't
cowboys to make it cheap.
I don't think I have I can't buy a cow anyway. There's no 3. Oh, there are 3 cows. I didn't see the yellow 3 cows. You guys
Yep,
just call the blue 3 cows.
right.
They were hidden behind my board. Um,
So yeah, so if you want to buy a cow, you need to stop at D. If you don't want to buy a cow, you don't need to. You could go straight to your tile and then advance forward again, um, where you could move the train forward a little bit. If you have two duplicates, going to the F building isn't terrible because you get 4 money there. So there's options you have in that
I think
regard.
we're just going to move to my tile. Move to forward. And go here. I don't love moving my train forward because that. Oh no, because you can't do that anyway. Okay, I don't know. I'm so paranoid about letting you move your train.
Well, I mean, I don't have a worker right now, so it doesn't matter too much. I'm not saying I can't play dirty. I can,
I just,
but right
I
now,
know so. I know not to trust you, but I don't know how to not trust you.
yeah. So you have put Fletcher in a situation. So Fletcher can't actually move his train this turn no matter what. I guess technically he could move it to 2, but again, he has the same problem you have. He wouldn't have enough money to place a disc there.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not super concerned at the moment. I'm going to go here. I'm going to discard a white because I have 2, so I definitely want to get rid of one of them. And then I'm going to pick up the engineer. So the way this works is the first engineer costs you nothing. The second engineer costs you an additional 2, or the second worker gets you additional 2. So I'm going to pick that up for 6. And then it says, hey, do you want to discard a white or a gray to get a cert? Yes, I do. And now I have a cert. These are temporary certs, so I can spend them at the end of the path. Um, and then I click done. And then I start evaluating my hand to say, okay, well, I have doubles. I can get rid of those doubles. I don't have a green, so building a building is not what I want to do. So that's the other things I think about.
Hmm.
Cattle cost
So
plus your
Fletcher,
certificate is how much money you get.
I think I just want to take remove the outlaw. Right? There's no point in moving my thing two spaces forward and paying 2
yeah,
for that.
yeah,
No.
yep. No, take the 3 money, get the outrage outlaw. Um, the hand value is the big white number above your hand. Um, it is the unique cows and their value, and then you can add certificates if you want. And then if you have any infinite certificates, which are the ones that come from the tiles, those get added in.
And that's how much money you get.
That's how much money you get. Yep.
Okay.
And then you'll spend
And
money based on
also
how
where you
far.
can. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So to hire someone, so I'm going to place people now. I
Yep.
have to play this same game you did. All right. So here, Fletcher has already taken that action.
Yes.
So I don't know if it makes sense to place a water hazard because I don't have any buildings over there, but that would be good for me to start placing buildings there. But I don't know. What would you do, Chris?
This one actually doesn't matter.
Doesn't
So
matter?
I have the next opportunity to take a bandit. So if you were to put a bandit out there for 3, you're potentially giving me an
That's
extra
one
gold.
coin. One coin.
One coin,
But one
right?
coin
Um,
matters.
it does, but I'd actually have to stop and take that action as well, and it's possible. The hazard is a 4-point hazard. You're looking to
It is
get
a
hazards,
compliment.
right? So,
No.
and you have a building out there that lets you buy hazards for 5 money. 5 money for 4 points is one of the best exchanges in the game. So it does give you more options to buy expensive ones, but someone's going to put it out there at some point anyway. So it really just doesn't matter.
All right.
Either one of them would be fine.
All right. And then hiring people.
Yep. If you place 2 workers, then the
Uh-huh.
7 row becomes available. But if you want an engineer, for example, you would have to place both. You'd have to fill in both of
Like,
those spots so that an
yeah,
engineer is
so I could do the
available.
builder and then the engineer if I didn't want to give anyone else an engineer, because you're not going to be hiring anyone else. And
But
Fletcher
that
won't be
does
hiring
push the
anyone else.
other. It pushes the other engineer into the 5 row. So if you want to hire an engineer and don't want others, and I don't know why I value engineers so much higher than everyone else, but it's all about the train. You put both
The whole
engineers in the 7 row.
works. What was that?
So if you put both engineers in the 7 row, because now there's no engineers in the 5 that makes it cheap. Because if you do builder engineer,
am I pushing anyone into the 7 row? I thought if I could only fill up the 7 row. I couldn't push anyone into the 5 row.
Right. Both of these are going to go into the 7. What I'm saying is if you put both engineers in the 7, you have to pay 7 regardless. But it means then the next person who buys an engineer also would have to pay 7 versus 5 if they were to get that engineer into the 5 row.
Oh, so the engineer stays here.
Yes. Yep. The one you don't pick stays.
Oh. All right. Well, I guess that makes a little bit more sense.
What would Chris do?
Only relevant in this game.
This is why we're playing a friendly game, because I want to talk through all the different like thought patterns that go on, and I wouldn't be able to do that if I was worried about my ELO.
Placing my disc here. I would lose 1 money. I'm not going to be able to buy 2 workers no matter what. That would be 14. I just don't have that much. So if I pay 1, I can get to Bloomington, right? Or no, that's 2 X's away. But St. Louis, I don't have to pay anything.
Correct.
To put it there.
And St. Louis is probably the better option for that exact reason. Because Bloomington is okay, but then you're basically want to go to Peoria to get the having that there at all, but that's still bad because that's not giving you a black disc that you can place. We should mention that the white corners can only go on white cornered spots, and the black corners white corners can go anywhere. Black corners can only go on black corner spots, and those are the most valuable discs. So I would go St. Louis because it's not going to cost you anything. And if you have to go to Bloomington later, a draw 2 token is not terrible, and probably better than an objective anyway. All right, so I apologize, but there was no way for you to stop me anyway. So I'm going to C. I'm going to increase my cert value by 1. I'm going to move forward 2 to get into the spot here. I'm going to upgrade the station with a little backup. Do I want to back up? Yeah, I want to back up. And put that there. And then I'm going to place my engineer, which I worked so hard to get, and take the scoring tile. And done. And I truly do not believe there was any way for you guys to stop me in doing that.
I could have not moved.
Yeah, we could have not moved.
You could have not moved. Or Fletcher, you could have just moved into the spot, but it would have cost you money just to sit there and block it,
right?
Which is one thing you could have done.
Or I could have not moved up when I had the option to.
You could have, but then you would have been further back, which would have cost you more points in the long run as well. So this is where this track here is really like a push and pull. You don't want to be sitting back here, but you know when you move, you're going to give other people the options to move. Now, this cost me the engineer. Like, this was expensive to do, but it was one of those things where it's like, okay, I can do it, so I'm going to take advantage of it. This next one, I will be honest, I'm going for it. I don't know if I'll get it, but I'm definitely going for it. This one here, I would say I'm going for as well. Actually, all of these. All these are great. And I'm going to go for all of them. But you guys want to stop me, but not at the detriment of putting yourself back, right?
Is you have to stay competitive. It's so hard once somebody starts taking the lead. But, if you... It is what it is. All right.
Yeah. So And this isn't, like I say, this is not a huge thing. It's one permacert. It's one extra hand
No,
value per.
this
And
is
then if I
not the
pick up,
worst one. But if you start
yeah,
getting more than one, that's when it starts
exactly.
getting hairy.
Yeah. If I have two or three of them, now you're really in the back. My favorite one is this very last one because I love going certs, and this one gives me extra money per certs, and it gives you perma. I just love the last one there. But this worker one is really, really good too. This one just gives you a point per worker on your board, and you automatically get three because you it counts the three that are defaulted on your board. Another reason why that was weird. Another reason why I went to this location is because I couldn't do anything at this location or this location, so it's like it's really the only option I had. Um, so here I am going to go here, and so I have a couple options here. This one, because of the way that my culling works, I can actually go back one, two, one, two. So I could go for the money and then back up two, but I'm going to actually advance two. So I'm going to go forward two, spending two money. And then it's like, well, wait a minute. I could go again, but I can't because I don't have any money. And actually, I don't want to. I want to go backwards, back into the spot that I just came from. And in doing so, I get my two money back and I get to get rid of two cards. I'm going to get rid of the two ones because I'm going to draw the black and the green, and then the cows are coming up next. So I think I can make that work. So I'll just get rid of those two cards. And this is where my culling strategy starts playing in. So I'm not going to have more than one of any color cow, but my goal is always to have the exact same hand every time I draw cards. I want my deck size and hand size to be the same. Don't think too hard about that one. And this is also why, if you're going a calling strategy, you almost always want to go an engineering strategy as well. Even though that was not an engineer move, but this tile here is just like call two once you have those two exposed. Also, moving back into the station means that you guys need to skip it. And because you're skipping it, you're not placing a disc and you are not optimizing an action. You are a jerk. I'm worse. You're still a jerk.
I'm I'm doing something. I don't know if it's a good idea, but it's something.
No, it's great because if you get to a point here where you still have duplicates, you dump here, and then you get three extra money. You can pick up a hazard here, and then you can move forward. And if you have duplicates still, you can dump there. Like it's not bad. I can't get cows, so I will just skip that. But I still stopped here to discard the two because I wanted to get rid of the black, and because otherwise I'd be sitting on one of your spots, and I don't want to be doing there. Just what I wanted. And also to John's point, What would Chris do is a pretty good question to ask for everyday life.
Perhaps a counterexample.
I can't think of any. Don't like what you guys are doing.
Why not? I don't think I want to move my train. Or do I? I
So
can
you're.
move backwards. If I
Do
move
you
there.
have?
What?
Yeah. So you do. I was just checking what actions you had. So you can move backwards.
Yeah. I think I like moving backwards.
Moving backwards is sneaky. It allows you to get to places that look like you've skipped them.
Yeah. Oh, and I have 2 engineers now. So when you move backwards, you only move one space backwards using the aux action. But you
Well,
just moved two
if you only
backwards.
have because I have the double. I have it on both sides.
Okay. Okay, so it is one per. Okay.
Yes. So this is one time and one time because together it's two times.
Still think I only want to go here though. That what to do? We're going with it because I don't want to take too much time. Because I need to go to bed. My kids started school this week also, and at some point I'm gonna have to go to bed.
That is entirely fair. I am doing that, getting money and not buying a hazard.
Okay.
I
All right.
don't
Well, I
like
guess.
my hand right now.
I really hate my hand, but I have choices here. I don't know if it's gonna work for me, but I do have choices.
You.
You have turned into a frozen robot.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm
Chris's
still here.
internet is very bad.
It is not bad. I hear you, and I think the stream's still working. I blame you guys.
Yeah, both of us just had you freeze for, me and Fletcher's internet both going out the exact same time, the exact same way. Seems really clear.
Well,
It's definitely how
in
things work.
fairness, uh, I think in fairness, I am streaming outbound on this as well, so it may be prioritizing that stream.
Okay.
So your move,
So yeah. So I can add
you
certificates to increase my breeding value. I don't know if I need to do that right now.
no, I wouldn't. Just place it on the four or the six. Four doesn't cost you anything. Six will cost you one. The reason to place
Um,
on the six would be if you want to get the objective later. Um, I like four, but your strategy is
guess I'll just
cattle, so
yeah. I feel like I should place it on the 4, right?
I would place it on the four, yeah.
Too much money. I
Looks
dislike
like
this.
you must select a delivery city, and oh, I have to place
Uh,
a disc. I see.
yep.
Hmm. What disc should I do?
Like I say, I would still probably for you the draw and
The draw
discard.
cards.
Yeah, because
so I
if
can
you're
cycle
going a
through my
cattle
cattle faster.
strategy, yeah, because what ends up happening is you get multiple fours and fives, and having two fours or two fives in your hand mean nothing. So you need to be able to get rid of them, and there's nothing on the board that allows you to get rid of a four or a five, except for the duplicates. But if you're doing that, then you're probably in pretty good shape. Interesting. Nope, not that one. Reset.
I'm doing it. Up with better cards than I had before.
Yeah.
It was a big old stink pile.
Hmm. Hmm. All right, so I'm not going to be able. Actually, that was probably pretty decent for you because you still are going to be able to get this unless Fletcher decides to take it from you, but he can't. So you're solid there. Okay, that was a good move. That was a good move. I would love to be able to move one more train, but I cannot. But what I can do is call two more cards. And so that I will do. I will get rid of a black and a gray. Oh, I have to move it back. So the reason it's allowing me to move here or here is because if I move here, this is the one and that's the two, or I can go 1, 2. So it's another interesting play with the turn-ins where you can use it as a space, even though it doesn't look like it should be allowed. So I'm going to back up 2, and then I'm going to get rid of black and gray. I'm getting rid of gray because I only want one of those. I'm getting rid of black because I have 2 blacks, and I'm really hoping to draw a white and a blue, but we'll see what happens. And we will be done. Okay, that was about the worst draw I could draw. You guys wouldn't know that normally, but I don't have a poker face today, so 2 greens and 2 blacks in my hand at 1 space away from Kansas City, not good.
Yeah.
Fortunately, I have the get out of cow hell free card, which is going to be a draw 2 discard 2, which can't hurt me except I could draw green gray, I guess, but that's not going to happen.
You can play your exchange token before you go to Kansas City.
Yep, you can play it anytime you want on your turn. And it's a draw
Good to
2
know.
discard 2. You're in a bad spot at
Not
all?
that I'm looking at. No, I had terrible cows to begin with. My hand, since we're playing this, when I went into that move was 2 grays, 2 blacks. That was
Yeah.
it. That was my whole
Yes.
hand.
So the dump, that was a pretty good move.
Um,
So your turn this
I'm
time
still.
your turn this time is land on G, go forward to past the station, and then aux back into the station, and then do the station shenanigans. So you'll call a card and be able to take the station and take the tile.
When you call a card, can you call it from your hand?
It has to be from your hand.
Okay. And then I'll draw up to my hand size when I'm done.
Correct.
Okay. So I move here,
Yep.
and then I auxiliary here.
Yep. Which gives you a money
Why does it give me money?
because that action, you gain one money, back your train up and call a card.
Oh, okay. Yes, because that is how it works. Exactly.
That's because that's how that actually works. It's you.
Okay.
This is a white number one versus a red number one. It's subtle, but these ones actually cost you. This one gives you money.
Oh.
This action is just broken. It was not very good in the original game. It didn't give you the money, but now that it does give you the money, it's just busted.
All right. So I want to double down on this strategy, I think.
It is a good strategy, but
Yes,
you
I
are
want to.
hopefully sacrificing an engine. Oh no, because you can sacrifice a builder,
I can sacrifice my builder.
and that's quite good.
I'm pretty happy with it. And then I get 2 always certs. And I don't even remember what else I got
Yep,
for doing that. But it was
it does not
good.
matter. That was, and you probably
I'm
have a
very
decent
happy with
hand
that
at this
move.
point.
Very happy with that turn there. This is the best I feel like I've ever done in this game. This is the most I've ever understood what I've done in this game. I still
Yeah,
think I'm going to lose quite terribly to you, but
I don't. Oh crap! I forgot to use my thing. Like, wait a minute. All right, first use exchange token. Draw two. Oh my god! Like, wow. Okay, fine, fine, fine. Um, fine. All right. So it's not as it wasn't as bad as it was going to be. All right. So
been worse.
you, you,
So why
and
didn't we
then
turn on live scoring for this
um
experiment?
because live scoring is demoralizing and should never be turned on.
Why?
Um, so early on, the
I
scores are all
can't.
pretty close.
It's sure, but like I don't know. It frustrates me. I feel like I can't adjust. I don't know. I guess at the point you know
You
you should have
well,
adjusted, it's too late.
it's too late. Yeah, once you see someone
Yeah.
start running away with the lead, there's nothing you can do at that point, and you can't enjoy the game either. Like sometimes it's just fun to play your strategy, but if you see like you have 60 points and someone has 115, it's not fun anymore. So this is where I said I like to place one disc on the white and everything else goes on the top. So what I'm going to do here, and this is where I have to kind of calculate this. Currently, I have a hand size or a hand value of 8. So the 7 plus the hand size and the permacert. I have 2 tap certs I could put on it to get me to 10 and to Chicago. It's going to cost me 1, 2, 3, 4 money. So I'm going to get net 6. I have 9 right now, which will give me 15 money. And I need 12, which is fine. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. So 15, I need 12. And one of them needs to be a white. I'm not going to draw a white in my opening hand. So I was just checking to see if I wanted to get hand size or not. Um, don't think I'm going to. So I'm going to spend my 2 certs. I'm going to place a disc on the black spot. I'm going to use. So if I did a hand size one, it's going to drop me down by 5 money. Um, and that 5 money plus the 4 money is going to put me at 10. I need 12 to buy 2 workers from the 5 row, which means I'd have to draw a 1 or a white, even though I'd have an extra hand size, because I'm not guaranteed a white here, the odds just don't seem in my favor to try to risk that. So instead, I'm going to go for money and movement because movement's never bad and it's going to guarantee that I get 2 workers. So that is what I'm going to do. And then when I draw the extra white, I'm going to regret it because having an extra hand size would be nice. But this is what I'm going to do. Sometimes you just play it safe. I did not draw a white, so I don't feel too bad. Now, this is where it gets tricky because the 10's not hard to get for a second visit. 12 is harder. Apparently, I've been max headroom. And Katie, we'll put a time cap of 10 o'clock on this. So one more hour. Does that work for you?
I suppose.
All right.
All
I
right.
suppose.
It's a friendly game, so it will never time out. So we can pick it up. Or we can actually play it turn by turn, and we just have to ping Fletcher to say, "Take your turn, take your turn, take your turn." Hmm.
Hmm.
I have 18 money, 18s of them. This is going to be a good turn.
What do
Kitty's
I want
deciding
to
in
put
Kansas
out
City.
there?
So your hand size is 10. So, yeah, so you can get to Chicago as well.
And even if I have 12 money, and it doesn't matter because I won't
Yeah,
be able to hire 2 workers no matter what. So I might as well just go for Chicago.
yeah. In order for you to hire 2 workers, you're going to need 14 money.
Yeah, because I assume by
Presuming
the
that I
time I
get
get
two.
there,
Actually, that's
the
not
5 row
entirely
will have
true.
at most one.
You could do
Yeah.
it with 13 because you could buy from the 6 row. So you could do it with 13 money. So if you drew into a white card, um,
So
you
if
could
I
potentially.
so when I if I take the movement, I gain 3 money,
Yes,
which would okay. So I think that's my move,
because that will allow you to get
and
two.
I can get 2 workers,
Yep.
and that seems like a good idea.
Yep.
And I need to hit the end my turn button for that to do anything.
Yep. So I can move up to 5, and moving up to 5 is awesome. However, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to move here.
You're going to move
And
one because that
I'm
is
going to move up.
also a good idea sometimes.
Yep. Now, what's a little annoying is I wanted to snipe that other engineer from you, but you didn't move the token down, so I can't
So you
do that.
can't.
So I can't. But I can do this, and I can do. I gotta get a cowboy because I do want more cows. Now I get the white. Fletcher's silently doing a cowboy strategy here.
I
We
mean,
can buy the.
I don't want to be mean about it, but I try the cowboy strategy all the time. It never worked for me. I did say
um,
that.
yeah, so there's no one path you can go in this game to win. So you can't just go Cowboys and expect to win. So I always say the train is the way you win, but that's not really true. It's culling and engineers and train, right? There's multiple things you're doing playing in there. You still have to buy cows. You still have to up, your hand values. Like Fletcher has to buy that cowboy in order for this strategy to work. I keep mixing up his colors. But he wants to get another cowboy out of this. He needs money to buy more cows. He wants to buy 2 cows when he gets to the next place to buy because he just wants to have a bunch of points in his hand. But he also needs to move the train. He can't keep spending money for deliverance, right? He also needs to. I mean, that's the big one. You still have to move your train no matter what. But Kitty is way too far out there right now. Don't like it.
I do want to do that. I want to do this. And I want to do this.
That's a good move. Good move.
It was a move.
It was a move.
It was a move.
So this move is possibly one of the trickiest. What I want to do is move my train and catch up with you.
Mm-hmm.
However, that by itself could be a trap. So the next thing I want to do is mess you up in different ways. So I'm almost thinking by building a relatively useless building in your way, that could work. Now, the problem here is if I built, because the green hand it gives me 2 money every time you guys pass it, but
Mm-hmm.
you could go up the desert route and lose 1 additional money and not give me any money. It also loses you 1 space, so it
But I've
still might not
got
be the right
movement.
thing to do. But you have a ton of movement. Fletcher would be stuck, but does this really do much for me? Because the other choice I have is coming out here, getting the cert, and moving my train to try to start making some progress on you, which I could do anyway. There's no downside to this, really. And I'm never going to land on this. So this one gives you 2 money per building you have on a forest space, which is marked with these little trees. Um, Neither of these are forest spaces, but I'm never going to land on it, so I don't care. So I think I do this. I think I put the building out there. There's another reason too, because my objective actually requires a building, so having it out here doesn't hurt me. And then Fletcher's stuck. Like he has to go up this way because his movement's not going to be great. He doesn't. He definitely doesn't want to spend extra movement over here. Maybe he does. It could go here. I guess it's the same right now, so it could go here or there. No, this is not. I'm not. Why do I confuse? Why do I keep thinking that Fletcher's white? I mean, you are, but you're more
Right.
yellow than white.
I think I'm more pink.
More cows come with more cowbell. Obviously, I need to put Shania Twain on there.
Either. Really need to buy cow. Can't
You should
completely ignore
have, yeah, you should have 1 or 2 at this point. It should be noted that the cattle market will refill when this point is crossed. Um, it gets filled up to 10. But right now, all cows are expensive.
Mm-hmm. All
Crazy,
right.
crazy expensive.
I really want to do that.
I think one advantage of the cow strategy is you can kind of monopolize the fact that nobody else can have them. Fletcher.
Yeah, but I'm not the only person with. Everyone has two cowboys now, so the same cost for
Yeah,
everyone.
but you're so, and this is sort of the problem of the cow strategy is most people want to have at least two, usually three cowboys, and you're fine. You're good with that. Um, so there's a lot of competition early on for the cheaper cowboys, which doesn't set you apart from anyone. But your real goal is to have enough cowboys where you can start buying the 2 for 8. So you get two fours for 8 money because that's basically just 10 points for 8 money. Um, or, I mean, some of these are worth less. I think they're range from 3 to 5, but it's a lot of points for not a lot of money later in the game. So that's like a last round or last couple turn play. Kitty, what are you doing? That made no sense.
You're making a lot of shifty eyes.
Just trying to, get in your head.
What would you have done?
I am going to show you what I would have done. And we'll see if it works. Yeah, what are you going to do for your double? Are you up for call?
I think I should call.
Calling is always good. Not always, always, but pretty much always.
And I do still need to.
Oh, I love this tile. It is just free everything. Um, and good. I needed to get ahead of you. You made the right move because you have engineers, so you can easily get back up in the lead. Um, but I also needed to get a disc off my board so that I could use an aux action to move forward. Because that ability to move forward, especially when someone else is trying to beat you to the stations, can sometimes be the difference. Sometimes I'll get it and I'll regret it. I'll be like, oh, I should have got this other thing instead. But
Objectives. Do they stack? If I have two hazards and I have more than one objective that needs hazards, I have to have a
so
hazard per objective.
yeah, so objectives don't have any kind of stacking. But if you click on an objective, it'll show you what tasks you have extra and which ones you're missing. So, and
Yeah.
it combines everything. So there's that. But they don't stack, they don't stack with other objectives, but they do stack with scoring tiles. So your
Okay.
pairs of green and orange will give you points for your bonus tile, or my bonus tile, and I'd still be able to use those same things for objectives. An objective is also only committed to if you play it for its upper left bonus.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it just sticks in your hand unless you can find a way of discarding it. And there's at least, we don't have that tile here, but there's one tile that's like a player tile that you can put out that discarding an objective gets you like an obscene, like 7 money or something like that. I've never seen it work, but I suppose you could go a heavy objective strategy where you're discarding objectives to try to, I don't know. And you can always, you don't have to commit to an objective while you play. You can do it at the end of the game. So any uncommitted objectives, you can say, oh, I can fill that, so I can commit to it now.
Um, I didn't realize there are no more threes left.
There are no more threes left.
And I don't have enough cowboys to get a 4. I could reshuffle the market, but that's irritating, and I don't really want to do that. So,
The undo
undo
button is
my
nice.
turn.
Undo
Do the
turn.
other thing I did again. I don't want to do that. I don't like these choices anymore.
Blame Fletcher for stealing all our threes.
I'm sorry.
No,
You're not
and that's
sorry.
fine. That's fine, but it does limit what I can do here.
Night, John. Although you started off. Night,
Yeah,
John.
he's been gone. I noticed too late to do anything. So I guess I'll just do this. There's a 3 down here. Take that. And then I'll do this. Have enough money to do anything that fun. Gonna keep moving, doing the same thing. Right. And then what do I have? Okay. So we'll do that. Alrighty.
I don't know how
Oh,
that worked. Oh, I see what you did. Well, whatever you did, it was a mistake. But I'm glad you did it. Because
enough money to do the
because
right thing.
well, not got a
I guess I
hazard
did
and
that.
taken the station, but now I'm starting to second guess my strategy here because I'm going to have to spend two. Now let's just play this out. If I spend two and go here, and then I can spend one to move into the station. I think I think that's what I want to do.
Yeah, I shouldn't have taken the hazard. Hindsight and all that.
Well, this is not a great move for me. This is purely a defensive move because it blocks you from taking this. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm two turns away from actually being able to take it, and that's only if I can come up with another money, which I don't. I think I can. That could still put me in a really bad spot. I'm gonna see what happens because, yeah, I think I'll be okay. Um, so this is a situation where sometimes I'll like, but just blocking someone from being able to do this, it has a multiple effects. Same thing with the very first station. Like, neither of you guys have a disc there, so that was advantageous for me to block it. Here, I want to put a disc here. I don't care about the next station as much. It's nice, but it's not detrimental or anything like that. I do want the last station. Um, so you could jet for the last station, but then you'd be skipping two other placements, which isn't a terrible thing for you because if you can
Not get
get a
the
five
hand of
count,
cards. I'm I'm behind on cows, and that's just a problem for me because I'm not going to be able to place where I want to anyway. So
so if when you're behind on cows, because your hand size is the problem, right? Um, the
no, my
best you
problem
can
is that
get right now,
I didn't buy. I need more valuable cows.
right. Your hand value is the problem. The best you can get is nine.
7. Oh
'Cause no, seven plus two because you have the two permacerts.
yeah, so 9.
So nine. And then you can get temporary certs to kind of push you up as well, but you've already picked up the 10. So what I would do here is probably just go for the six, like sandbag whatever you're doing,
Oh my
um, because the
gosh!
six isn't gonna hurt you, and it's gonna get you a lot of extra money, and then you can pick up the temp certs as you go. You're gonna overflow probably before, so there's gonna be one, two.
For this turn, I'm screwed for this. So it is what it is.
Well, you can't even get six.
What? I
You just
have
need a hand value of six.
my hand value is 5. And I've
Plus
got
the
my
two
2 certs. I've
permacerts?
got 7. No.
Oh, yeah. Just go to Bloomington. Bloomington gives you a draw two. It doesn't lose you any money. It doesn't lose you any points,
I
and you're
know,
gonna net money
but
out of it.
it's not what I wanted.
Well, sure, but you got to work with what you got,
All right. I
and you
want.
want to put workers. You want to flood with workers, so because you need the cattle market to refresh.
Yeah.
And Fletcher's coming around the corner, so he will likely refresh the market because he also wants the cattle market to refresh. Um, and I can't take advantage of it because I'm stuck. But so I can do a hyper shenanigans thing, but Fletcher has the ability to not put two workers out. So if that orange bandit on the three column was a worker, what I would do right now is go to the green bandit and land on it. I would lose my one money, and then I could go to the cattle market and not get anything. So that's what I would want to do if I wanted to do shenanigans. I don't have the resources or the money to do that. So I won't be doing that. Instead, I'm going to give Kitty a money. No, I'm not. I'm not going to give you a money. I'm going to give nobody a money. And I'm going to go through the mountains, lose my money to the mountains. Then I'm
I
going to
guess you only had
discard.
one money. That makes sense.
Yeah, I only had one money and I could make it either way. So that's where I was like, all right. Um, and then I hope for the best. You are not the best. You are the worst. Jesus. Wow. Wow. All right. What is the best I could do? If I got rid of that, I could get a 9. Um, okay. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good.
Is it worth moving into that one little spot below me so I can place a marker?
Yes. 100%. Um, and then let me see your actions. Yeah, and then either cycle a card or gain a money. Um, so actually, whatever action you're going to take, whether it be cycling cards or gain money, that's the disc you want to place. Because then you can take that ox action immediately for double effect.
Hmm, that's true. And this will just get my money back.
Yeah. Yeah, if your cards are already good, just having that disc off your board so you can always get those 2 money is going to be good for you. Kitty's at the beginning. She has 11 money. She wants that engineer, but she really wants a cowboy because 3 cowboys allows her to get a 4 for 6 money. And that would be pretty good. Like you can skip the 3s, just go right to the 4s and 5s and feel good about that. But the
Engineer.
engineer is tantalizing.
I
Um,
discard one. So do I get that immediately? So if I
if you
gain
buy an engineer,
2,
you'll discard 1 and gain 2 money. Yes, immediately.
so then if I have 2 money and if I discard it, that's another 4 money, and then I can hire 2 workers. I can get my cowboy anyway.
If you're
Right?
doing an engineer, you're going to need 14 total money to do that
So I need
because you'll
14. I need
buy.
16. So would I still be one short? I think I'd still be one short.
I think you're going to have 13. You need 14. Yeah, you're going to be 1 short.
Yeah.
Builder, which is probably not terrible. Um, so what you're doing with with the 2 engineers, you're still able to move pretty decently. The cowboy gets your hand size fixed, and then you can sacrifice the cowboy to the station. You got to get
Yeah.
to the station. Um, if you just go engineer, you might have a shot of getting the last one, which is the one you really want for your hand size, your hand value. Yeah, either one. Like, I don't want to give you advice because I think one of them is better for me, but either one of them makes sense in this situation. And the one that's better for me is like I'm in the same boat as you, right? We both have 2 and
You have
2.
more cows than me.
I have more cows than you, but I want to get the more expensive cows. Like I want a 3 cowboys, so I can get a 4 and a 5 because I don't want to bother with the 3s.
I think I just need the cowboy.
Yeah. if I can pull off getting a bunch of cash, that will be nice. So what I'm going to do is
If
I'm
I
moving
hadn't
forward.
been opposed to giving you one coin, I could have done the thing. But I am morally opposed to giving you things.
That is like one of the hardest things to do too. It's like, okay, if I give you this, it puts me in a better spot. So for me, it's like I will sacrifice it if I don't need it. But who knows? Like
I didn't
two
need it when
turns,
I
I don't
sacrificed
know.
it, but yeah, like
Yeah.
3 turns later, it turns out, oh, actually, I really could have used that.
Yep. All right. So I'm going to get rid of a black and a green. Get rid of those. So I can only draw something that's going to make my hand size better. I'm going to upgrade the station.
Of
And
course.
this is a tough call here. I think I do this. And then here's the one that's really the problem. I need a better cow. And but I don't want to get rid of my engineer. And I'm not going to have enough money to buy 2 workers when I go through. Do I sacrifice that last one? I think I do. I think I have to keep the cow. All right. So right now I have a hand value of 13. So I can go to the 12 city. I can increase my hand size, but I definitely can only buy 1 worker. Does Fletcher refill the market? He does not. Which is still probably fine because I have to refill the market and it's the
You
next
have
thing
to
I'm
refill the market.
doing. Yeah. So you guys are going to get first dibs on all of that. Fletcher's going to get an early first dibs on it with his
Did I
little
do Bloomington or Peoria?
um Bloomington. Bloomington at least gives you something. Peoria doesn't.
Doesn't. Well, at least
Because
not right
you
now.
have to fill, yeah, you have to fill on both sides. And you did have to go to Peoria later, you're still going to get an objective. If you went to Peoria now and went to Bloomington later, you get a token and an objective, but you might as well take the token now. So, yeah. And I also err on the side of what's cheaper. For this, it doesn't matter because neither one's going to cost you money, but you just don't want Kansas City. All right.
What to do? What to do?
You want money.
How do you increase
You have
movement? Like, how do you get rid of those tokens?
the 2 tokens in the upper middle with the black corners. If you can
Yeah.
place those tokens on black corner
Oh,
spots,
I see.
and they increase your
Got it.
movement.
Got it. So I need to be further along.
Yes. Kitty, you want to emphasize, I really think you want that next station a lot. 'Cause that is 7 points you're getting. I guess it's 6 once you place the worker. But in any case, you want money. Whatever it is to get you money.
Difficult for me to not
You could
lose
build
money.
a you could build a pretty decent building though, because you can build a 3 builder building over top of one of your buildings up on the top. You could actually even
I
build
only
a
have two
four builder
builders.
building. Right, but so if you build it over top, the building on there counts as its building
Ah,
spots, as amounts. So like your black hand, for example, you could build one of the four builder buildings over that. Um, that's not necessarily, I don't think the second four builder is great, but the first one's not bad. That's buy a worker and move the train. So 6A is a really nice building, especially for your strategy. Um, allows you to buy a late worker at a discount and move your train. And now that doesn't allow you to move on past it, but you already have the one behind it to double it up with. So, but the three building's not bad either. Discard a three. I guess you don't have any threes, so that's not as great for you. That would be good for Fletcher, actually.
yeah. Oh, first, let's do this. But to build a four builder building, don't I have to pay 8 money?
You pay the difference. So you pay four money, two per builder.
Okay. So,
So the question really is, are you going to use it? And I will say, once you round that corner with the train and you're starting to place all your black discs, those are worth a lot of points for their money value, and you're just clearing your board of discs. It gets kind of fun and crazy.
what I want right now is money. I can place my one builder building, and I get 2 per tree building, which I have 2 of.
Yes, and you'd place it probably in one of the spots underneath the buildings that you have up there now. So you get six money. So you could probably place it right after the C building, the C neutral
That's what I'm
building,
thinking.
and you'd get six money out of that one.
Yeah.
It's not the most
I,
efficient move because it's a full action to get six money, but it does also give you six money. And that's just before you go to
Mhm.
cows, so that's not bad.
Well, I can't get to cows for a ways because that's only Fletcher's.
Um, you will get it
Right.
on my turn because I have to trigger the cows now.
Yeah. Yeah, because that was the other thing was I was seeing
Um,
I'd much rather buy 2 threes than 1 4. Although 5 victory
the one
points.
the one four is probably not as bad as you think,
No,
depending on
it's
your
probably a
hand
better bet,
size.
honestly. Especially because
Yeah,
I have a very small deck size too. Because I've been
yeah. All right, so I'm gonna go here, and this time I am gonna go for hand size. I think I'm gonna have 13 money, and 13 money is not going to get me two workers. So yeah, time to up the hand size. That leaves me with eight. Eight is okay.
there's too much thinking in this game for it to be fun to watch.
But are you having fun
I don't know.
playing it? So I find this game best turn-based, where people are taking their turns, three or four times a day. because it's enough where you can like really think about it, but
You're
you're
still camping in that stupid station.
um well, yes, but I've also taken it at this point. So I did move out and back in.
Yeah, but I can't put a disc there.
Right. But you could, like I said, that next station is really good for you. Um
But I
and it gives you two money back, so it really only costs you two money to get the to get it. But so it's I don't know. I'd probably sacrifice the one I'm on just so you can get ahead. And once you start getting and filling in the discs in the other stations, they're all black corner discs, so they're just the value of those is so much higher.
yeah. So I think what I want to do then is go here and I'll just skip ahead of you.
And you know that I'm not going to move my train on my next move. And you can move yours.
Yeah.
So I'm just taking a little old trip to here. Captain Predictable at this point.
Wait, oh, because I had to pass that stupid hazard. It's fine. It's fine. She yells into the void.
Everything is fine.
It's fine.
I need to get rid of four more cards. If I call four cards, I have a perfect deck. This is the turning point where your engine should start to just function. And then
I
by the
don't think my
time
engine is functioning. I don't think I did it
the
right.
last three rounds just go the last three rows go very, very quickly because people are just kind of like spinning through. I don't think you did so bad. I think you did probably just fine.
Mm, I don't feel good about it. You've gone blurry.
I oh, I didn't go blurry. Um,
Your camera stopped identifying you as human.
that's fairly accurate, I guess. Um, Tomorrow's Thursday. Tomorrow I have to wake up early because we'd have to drop Zachary off at 7:50, which seems very early. Um, and I'm like, I'm not going to sleep through his first day of dropping him off at kindergarten. Second day, maybe, but not the first day. Like, fine. He's pretty excited. He like it doesn't even phase him. He was at Taekwondo today, and the instructor asked, "Like, are you nervous?" He's like, "No." He's like, "Okay, are you excited?" Yeah, I guess. I think he's been home the last 3 days, so I think he's just bored and like whatever, just get me out of the house.
Right?
And Becca hasn't been home either, so it's just like literally just been him hanging out. I'm like, you want to watch something on TV? No, I'll just play my Switch. Okay. And if they're, what are you doing? Yeah, I got bored of my Switch. I'm like, okay. All right. Now, what to do? Because I have only three money, I think. Why'd you have to put a spot right there that's going to cost me money? not nice. And I could go to the green, but does it matter? You don't have a ton. All right. I think I still want to go here. Who do I want to pay? You one or the bank two? And you can have one. And then and then all right. I made it easy for you to get in there. I'm definitely not going to get a cow. And I do wish you guys would give me some money. Ooh. Oh, okay. Yeah. You didn't change those buildings. I'm like, oh, you're not going to do the. You're going to. You can't buy a hazard, I don't think, right?
No.
You can't. No, you can get that. So you want to go to G, move forward two, but don't go in the station, and then aux back into the station, which gives you your fourth money so that you can then take it.
Does that work? Think so.
Hmm. Yeah. 'Cause you have two engineers. You back up one, and that will give you a purge and a money, and then you'll still end with two money because you're going to two from the tile. It's the shenanigans that you can pull.
And I can't. You have to pay to increase your hand size?
You have to pay to increase your hand size. So you wouldn't be able to afford to do that, but you could get the 3 victory points and the extra movement,
I guess
which is
that's
just
what.
as good. Yeah.
Oh, yes, I want to do that. I'm like, why isn't it letting me do it?
Oh, wait, you can't. It's
Oh,
a
it's a
white
white
border
one.
one
No.
anyway. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
All
So you don't
right.
need to worry about that.
What do
You
I want to do?
um
Do I want to move my engine forward more? Or do I want?
you might want to do the engine forward if you want to rush to get those other stations. Otherwise, card cycling, especially with your cattle selection, could be useful.
Card cycling is not bad. Just gain money is also not bad. We'll do
It's not
cards.
great though. Yeah.
It's
The
not
straight up
great.
two money is like it's not terrible, but it's not. You'd hope that you
Uh,
could do something else.
oh, we lost Fletcher.
He is being interrupted, saying, "Are you going to eat dinner with me or not?"
All
It's only 7:50 for him.
right. And we'll do that. The end. That wasn't
All
what I
right.
wanted.
Oh, for your draw.
Yeah.
All right.
It's. Ugh!
So I feel like if I move forward, I'm going to give you, but I have to. I have to do this. So I am going to, I don't have enough money to advance. Okay. So give me some money and then
You should just build a building over here that I can stop at and just take an auxiliary action to fix my hand.
you can always
Would
land
you
on
do
it and
that
hit
for me?
it. I don't think I can. I'm gonna say
Well,
no.
ah,
Although you still got your token, don't you? You can still use your draw token.
no, I used it.
No,
Do I
no, you
have
have
one?
one.
Oh, I have one.
Yeah.
Where did I get another one?
Maybe because
How do I
you
see
filled
them?
both sides, St. Louis and Bloomington.
Oh, nice. Okay, then yeah, never mind.
Um,
Jerk.
you're welcome. All right. I think I'm gonna move forward. I think that's the right thing to do. I think you still are gonna mess me up with your stupid
Oh,
black hand.
you know, when you tried to get me to build over it, I didn't trust you.
Um, true. You shouldn't. Maybe I do something different. Maybe I do something different. I know what I'm gonna do. It's something different.
Ugh, those aren't the cows I wanted. How do I still have so many stupid cows? I
um, you've
still
referred
have
two things, haven't
a
you?
little bit. I have. And yet, I still have too many stupid cows. Um, yeah, it doesn't really matter.
It always matters. Cheap engineers. Hi, Carmen.
I mean, she didn't hear you because I had my headphone on. But
I know, but I said hi anyway. I
I'll
know I
tell you
said
to hi.
hi. How is the California lifestyle treating you? You gonna stay out there forever?
It's nice. Not forever, but for a little while.
Where specifically are you?
We're in West Hollywood,
As opposed to East Hollywood?
or just Hollywood,
Hollywood.
or North Hollywood.
Do they still make movies in Hollywood?
Yeah, Paramount Theater, like part of their back lot is like less than a mile away.
You should get a job over there. Craft services
I
or
don't
something.
know. Craft services. Just serve food.
Yep. Have a sandwich.
Who wants a bowl of M&Ms?
All actors are way too skinny. Someone needs to feed them. All right. So I think this is the right move because I need another cow
Get a
and
cow.
it's worth a couple points. And yeah, there we go. That was, that was just the right thing to do. Now I check how many cards I have. I need to get rid of two whites, a green, and a gray. So if I can do two more calls, then I have the perfect hand. Though right now, for all the value I have, this is a terrible hand to have. Ooh, but hmm, Kitty, I'm not going to be able to
Yes.
take it, and I'm very upset about it. I think you could beat me there. Hmm.
Kind of a waste of putting down an engineer in that spot when I can't afford to hire anyone else. But I've got a lot of engineers now, which
Yeah,
I
I don't. At this point, because you're, wait, are you gonna? No, you're not. Okay. Yep. All right. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do this and block you there. Get rid of one of those. I almost think I want to get rid of the other one, but yeah, let's get rid of that one instead. Um, that's not going to be good. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Oh boy, I'm not going to get what I need to get if I do. This is selfish. This is a bad move by me. This is not the right thing to do. I'm just trying to stop you from getting it. I need to do the right move. And the right move is this one. Where I just go here and I discard these two. And then, hmm, hmm, no, I don't want that. Okay, I'm leaving it wide open for you. But I needed, yeah, I needed to do that. I'm not regretting it. I needed to do it.
how far can I move?
You can get the next station. I guess you can't because you
Yeah.
can't afford it.
Well, I gotta move. I need 6, right? Oh no, because I'm gonna have to pay to get to there anyway.
No,
Uh,
because you can go to C. I mean, I guess it's going to cost you one to get there. Um,
yeah,
and then you can move forward. You have 4 engineers now,
yeah.
so you could definitely get in there. But you could go 1, 2, 3, 4. So you can go to 18, and then back up 2, which would get you to 4 money. That would be your best to be able to get in there. But if you did that, you would block me until you could move forward and backward again.
Wait, what? How would I do that?
So if you move 4 forward, you'll get to space 18. So 14, 16, 17, 18. Then you do this isn't the aux one. So you wouldn't do
Yeah.
backwards.
No, I
Um,
can't get to the Ox one. Yeah. I can
yeah, no,
move
you'd
a
have
third.
to you'd basically just have to move into it and sit there. Or you can round the corner and start getting the higher value point ones. Since you're not heavy on certs in the first place, the high value cert ones might be worth more, but I am heavy on certs. So you leaving that to me is likely going to give me,
More
it's going to
points.
give me at least 6 points. It could give
Oh,
me way more. So,
my goodness, it is expensive to get here. It's going to cost all of my money no matter what. So I might as well give none of it to you jerks,
well, fine.
right?
Nice. Yeah, and then take the cert because you need the
Yeah.
cert.
Well, then I'm just going to come sit here and say poo poo to you.
Yep. That was what I was going to do, but it would have really hurt my city prospects. So now we're going to see if it paid off because it's still going to be a random chance for me. So I'm going to move
Yeah.
forward
I mean,
2, and then I'm going to move backwards 2, culling 2, and I'm going to get rid of the white and the green. Chances are I'm going to draw another white. And if I draw a gray, I'm going to be very sad. Pretty good chance I do that too. So, all right. I just need anything that I don't have already is fine. And then and all right, that's good. It gives me 14, so I can get to Pittsburgh. I wouldn't mind 16, but that is not how math works. So and I've drawn. I just need to draw one other card. Like there's some play in the odds in this. But overall, that worked out well because otherwise I would have been placing in Bloomington. Who wants to go to Bloomington?
no one.
No one.
'Tis a silly place.
Hmm. If I move my train up 2, I'm not going to be able to pay. I kind of messed this up a little bit. I'm not going to be able to pay the 4. Put my token there.
Correct.
Which is annoying.
You could ox for 2, but that would only get you 2 money.
Right.
But the next station is also just a 4, so you could do that. Um, you could also just move up 2 and don't go into the station, and then grab
Move
then
back.
ox for 2, and you don't have the move back there, but you could the next token you placed, you could choose a move back so that you get back into the station.
Yeah.
Or
Kind of
at this
mess this
point, the
one up.
station doesn't matter as much. It is a good return on investment for points. 4 for 2 is a good point value.
Yeah, maybe what I'll do. Maybe I'll just do that. This. Game two. Move forward to firm. And then end turn.
And then Kitty can actually. Oh, you don't have any money either. Man, very short on money.
Yeah, it is a stupid move.
I don't think there are any stupid moves. Just stupid people. Oh, no, that's not right.
So Chris is not going to be able to move his train next turn.
I am not. I'm going to Kansas City, eating some salsa or something.
I think I want to do. No, that's not the one I want to do. I want to do this. Just keep doing this for a while.
It's a great
Also, it's 10
move.
o'clock.
Kitty's on a mission.
I don't. I should go to bed.
We can switch over to turn
I'm gonna
based.
forget what I'm doing.
This is
Yeah, let's
where
switch
the
over to
notes
turn based.
feature. The notes feature is very important in this one. So the upper corner, wherever it is. Wait, where do the notes go?
It's so important they hit it. You could also just type a note on your computer.
Yeah, but there actually used to be. Did they get rid of the notes? No way. I'm going to call that a catastrophe if they did. Um, all right. So I'm going to go to 14. So that's going to cost me 2. I'm going to choose my cert and go there. Click on confirm and turn. I have 23 money. I can live with that.
23 money.
I don't even know how I got 23
Mm,
money.
Doesn't matter.
There's really not a lot of turns left,
Yeah.
No.
but
There's enough
it's still
though.
10. There's enough. We can call it. We can go to turn based.
Yeah, let's go to turn based.
All right.
Ugh,
But
I've
Fletcher,
pretty much.
we're
I
gonna.
think I've lost anyway, so whatever.
I I don't know. I don't know. Well, I don't think you've beat me, but
No,
I don't think you've
but
done
I
as
wasn't
bad
really
as
trying
you.
to beat you. I was just trying to not suck.
I don't think you did. You have a cow issue, but
I do
even
have a
then,
cow issue.
I think you're not in a bad spot because I also have a cow issue. I only have 2 cows. You have more points in cows than I have,
Do I?
like victory points. Yeah, because my cows give me a total of 5,
I only have
and
4.
I'm all right. Fine, you have 1 less point than I do.
I'm not. I'm not terrible in cows, but I'm not great. I am staring at a looming future problem, but that hasn't come to fruition yet. So there's that.
I have So even if I were to, so I have a hand size of 5, I have a deck
Oh,
size
okay.
of 8. I just need to get
Because the
2. Let me get
culling
rid of the
is
wood
not
and the barrel.
cows, it's cards. So it's not,
Yes.
yeah. So that's something. Well, I can't. What do I.
All right. I think we should end this before we just continue to play.
Oh, I'm going to keep taking my turn, but feel free to ignore me. Shut this down. But
Yeah. We will ping you in the morning to take your turn.
Okay.
There's
Well, I
only
need to eat
there's
some food.
only
I'm hungry.
yes, go do that. And actually you'll be able to take a turn before you go to bed. So after you're done eating, take another
Perfect.
turn at least.
All right.
All
I will do
right.
do
that.
I want to
All
buy
Good
right.
night, everyone.
a cow? Good
Good night,
night.
everyone.
If I do that, that does that. But then I risk you being able to move your train again.
Well, I would never move my train again.
You would definitely 100% move your train again, but if I don't have one more money, it doesn't matter if I move my train. But if I move my train, okay, so if I move my train forward and then backwards, then I'm good. That's
That's
what I
my
gotta
favorite
do.
move.
That's the way to do it. So move my train. Doesn't want to. If I move it too far forward, that is also a problem. But oh. Oh, I should have done that. I don't want to do this anymore. No.
So undo.
Right. Undo. Oh no, because then I don't get the money. I've got to undo everything. I have to rethink my whole life. What do I need to do? Because I need to.
So what are you trying to do? Are you trying to get a you try to-
I think I need to just give up on that train and I need to buy a cow.
At this point, if you can get well, you already have a 4. You get a 5? You have 3 cowboys, so you can't
I
get a
don't have
5.
enough money to get a 5. I could get a 3 with what I've
So
got.
technically, you could get
I
two
discard that
threes.
2. Can I get 2 threes?
Well, if there were 2 threes available, because you can have 3
There's only
cowboys,
one
2 threes
3.
for 5 money.
Oh yeah. I was looking at that. So I only need to spend 3 money. Also I can well, no, that still leaves me 1 cowboy shy. So I could use 1 cowboy to shuffle the market, which I might do anyway, because I might get a better 3.
Well, it adds 2 to the market. It adds 2
Yeah.
cowboys or 2 cows to the market. Yeah,
Yeah, so I might get a better 3. And I'm wasting that cowboy anyway if I just buy 1 3. Yeah.
yeah. So
It
now you can
worked
get the
out.
red.
Yeah. Wasn't that big a difference, but it was something. Now, do I want to do
And
that?
then
No, I don't. I shall end my turn. And I'm going to go to bed.
all right, well, I'm going to take my turn, and then, but I will
Still
end the stream
streaming?
here before I take my turn.
We have to end the stream at some point. I have to go to
Good
bed.
night,
Good night,
people who
everyone.
might still be watching.
Is it anyone but us? There's one watcher, apparently. So, good night, whoever you
That's
are,
probably still Fletcher.
if you're paying attention. No, it said 4 last time he was on, but I